Other than being an overall improvement in the 2017 theatrical version of the Justice League, the Snyder Cut does one particular great thing: bring Darkseid into the DCEU. While the new god was mentioned in the original version, we didn't get to see one of DC's biggest bads, and instead had to settle for a questionable-looking Steppenwolf. With the Snyder Cut, we managed to get a better Steppenwolf and Darkseid, and fleshed out Darkseid's overarching plan. But there are still a few questions that remain. Mainly, what is the anti-life equation that he's obsessed with? Let's discuss. So, as anyone who watched the Snyder Cut will know, Darkseid has a deep obsession with tracking down the anti-life equation, which he learns has been carved into the surface of the Earth. So, once Steppenwolf's plans with the Mother Boxes fail, Darkseid decides to try and conquer Earth the old-fashioned way, with an armada.
Ready the armada. We will use the old ways.
That's because Darkseid really wants that anti-life equation. But, why exactly? And what does the anti-life equation mean? Well, let's start with the latter. Now, in the DCEU, the equation is one of the most powerful forces a person could wield, and whoever speaks the equation can control and dominate those who hear it and break their spirit. In the Snyder Cut, it seems to be more of a primordial, almost godlike force, which Darkseid is able to sense, and its raw power makes it perfect for a tyrant like him who likes to conquer and terraform planets. This is seemingly different to the comic books though, where it is literally an equation, like 1 + 1 = 2, but obviously a little more complex. Instead of being based on mathematical law, it's instead based on the essence of existence, happiness, love, and free will, and is used to control other sentient races. The reason it is called anti-life is because if someone uses it to control you, you are no longer really alive. Its history and meaning in the comic books is ever-changing and shifting, with it originally found by the Mother Box inside of the mind of Sunny Sumo. However, Sunny Sumo wasn't the only person to have the equation carved into their mind, with it also existing in the mind of billion-dollar Bates, who used it for his own personal business interests and to cause his competitors to submit to his will. But it all ends quite badly for Bates when he's accidentally killed by one of his own guards. But what exactly is its connection to Darkseid? Well, that is also a complex story. Now, in the comics, Darkseid first learns of the concept of the anti-life equation after coming into contact with the people of Mars and learning that they follow the philosophy of the life equation. Darkseid then came to the conclusion that there must be a negative equivalent to the equation and became obsessed with tracking it down. The equation then became intrinsically tied with the character of Darkseid and acts as the white whale to his Captain Ahab. Darkseid and Desaad eventually gain access to the equation from clones of billion-dollar Bates, but Darkseid eventually loses it to his son Orion. Now, the exact equation was actually written down by Grant Morrison in the Seven Soldiers Mr. Miracle miniseries, but trust me, it doesn't work. I tried. As we said though, the equation we see in the Snyder Cut is notably different to the one in the comic books and is seemingly a little simpler. Steppenwolf details his account of Darkseid's pursuit of the anti-life equation as he looked for the ultimate weapon that holds the key to controlling all life and all will throughout the multiverse.
The anti-life equation. The key to controlling all life and all will throughout the multiverse.
Darkseid learns that it is hidden on Earth, but his attempt to conquer it is thwarted when he is defeated and injured by Ares. So Steppenwolf, who is looking to redeem himself in Darkseid's eyes, seeks to conquer Earth and bring him the weapon he so craves. So what looked to be the apocalyptic symbol in the original version was actually the anti-life equation all along. And we still don't know how much Darkseid knows about the equation and why he couldn't find or make his return to Earth in the meantime, but we can safely guess that his plan for the equation will likely involve our favorite Kryptonian, Superman, who is turned evil after the death of Lois Lane in the Nightmare timeline. But there are still some unanswered questions when it comes to the anti-life equation, ones that will likely never be answered if Snyder's future films are indeed scrapped and shelved indefinitely. I mean, the first question is, if they're able to feel the presence of the equation, why is looking upon it not enough to harness its power? And more importantly, how did it end up carved on Earth? Now, as we've said already, these questions will likely forever go unanswered. If this were the MCU, we could expect that all would be revealed at some point in a future film after we've been left on standby, but with the DCEU, I'm not holding my breath. Snyder seemingly did have a long-term plan in regards to the new gods, and it's likely that Darkseid and the anti-life equation would be essential to the plot moving forward. But, as I said, we may never find out. Could there have been higher beings at play? Does John Jones have a part to play in the equation? Or even Green Lantern? This would admittedly all be speculation right now, but what do you think? Who do you think carved the anti-life equation into Earth, and why? Personally, I think Martian Manhunter was guarding the anti-life equation. As Martian philosophy is based on the life equation, they may have tried to keep the counter formula hidden on a neighboring planet. Seeing as John Jones didn't reveal himself till after Darkseid emerged, and we don't know why he's on Earth, you never know.